News has settled a defamation lawsuit from the voting machine company Dominion over its reporting of the 2020 presidential election. In a last-minute settlement before trial, the network agreed to pay £634 million, about half of the $1.6 billion initially sought by Dominion. Dominion argued its business was harmed by Fox spreading false claims the vote had been rigged against Donald Trump. The deal spares Fox executives such as Rupert Murdoch from having to testify. The judge in the case is not required to give his approval for the agreement. Fox said Tuesday's settlement is one of the most anticipated defamation trials in recent US history, reflected its commitment to the highest journalistic standards. The Fox statement added, without elaborating, that the network acknowledges the court's rulings, finding certain claims about Dominion to be false. Dominion Chief Executive John Powless told a press conference, the deal included Fox admitting to telling lies, causing enormous damage to my company. Justin Nelson, a Dominion attorney, told reporters that the truth matters. Lies have consequences, he added. Over 2 years ago, a torrent of lies swept Dominion and election officials across America into an alternative universe conspiracy theory, causing grievous harm to Dominion and the country. Mr. Nelson added that for democracy to endure, Americans must share a commitment to facts. Opening arguments in the case have been due to start on Tuesday afternoon. The announcement of a settlement came after an unexplained delay of several hours once jury selection had finished, prompting speculations that talks were underway behind the scenes. On Monday, Delaware Superior Court Judge Eric Davis announced that the start of the trial would be delayed by 24 hours. Although he gave no reason, US media reported that it was to give both sides an opportunity to settlement. On Tuesday morning, however, both sides appeared to be digging in for a lengthy trial. Attorneys for Fox had repeatedly objected to the $1.6 billion in damages sought by Colorado-based Dominion, characterizing the figure as massively inflated. The real cost of the case, Fox had argued, would be the cherished rights to freedom of speech and of the press enshrined in the First Amendment of the US Constitution. Dominion's lawsuit argued that the conservative network had sullied the electronic voting company's reputation by airing falsehoods about the 2020 vote being stolen from former President Trump. Mr. Trump attacked the voting machine company after the ballot falsely claimed that it rigged the election to favor winner Joe Biden. The lawsuit said that the false claims were partly an effort to win over viewers who were angered by Fox's decision on election night to correctly declare that Mr. Trump's then challenger Joe Biden had won the crucial state of Arizona. Two of the Fox executives responsible for the Arizona decision lost their jobs 2 months later. Legal findings released ahead of the trial suggested that a number of Fox executives and journalists privately questioned and dismissed conspiracy claims that the 2020 presidential election was stolen, but still put them on air. Court documents showed that Mr. Murdoch referred to the claims about Dominion as really crazy, but failed to take any action. In one series of text messages, top-rated host Tucker Carlson said some of the claims were insane. Another host, Sean Hannity, said privately he did not believe them for 1 second. Fox has said the words were taken out of context. Ahead of the trial, Judge Davis ruled that the claims against Dominion had already been proven false, emphasizing that the falsehoods were crystal clear. Despite the mammoth payout, some legal experts believe the settlement was overall a positive outcome for the network. Syracuse University professor and First Amendment expert Roy Gutman said, looking down the line at a 6-week trial, this was going to be grueling for everyone involved and likely embarrassing Fox. But a verdict against Fox could have been even costlier and had serious implications on subsequent rulings on the actual malice standard and the First Amendment itself. Had the defamation trial gone ahead, jurors would have been asked with determining whether Fox News acted with actual malice by broadcasting claims it knew to be false. Civil litigation attorney Michelle Simpson Tugale told the BBC that the settlement speaks to the massive threat Fox saw from this litigation. The reputational harm of having executives, including Chairman Rupert Murdoch and host Take the Stand, seems to have moved the parties towards a resolution, Ms. Tugale added. Fox still faces a second similar defamation lawsuit from another election technology firm, Smartmatic, which is seeking $2.7 billion. Dominion still has litigation pending against two conservative news networks, OAN and Newsmax. The company has also sued Trump allies such as Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, and Mike Lindell. In a last-minute deal, Fox News has settled a defamation lawsuit from voting machine firm Dominion over its coverage of the 2020 US election. The network, controlled by media mogul Rupert Murdoch and his family, agreed to pay Dominion £634 million. While the payout is large, it means Fox avoids what was billed by some as the defamation trial of the century. However, the network faces a second similar lawsuit from another election technology firm, Smartmatic. The settlement means that Fox and Dominion can now put the case behind them, with both firms being able to claim victory. The reality is, two big companies in this case are by nature risk-averse, and anytime you've got a jury, it's risky, David Logan, professor of law at Roger Williams University, told the BBC. At almost $800 million, it is one of the biggest ever financial settlements in a defamation case. It's obviously certainly a significant number, and we shouldn't dismiss that. I mean, it is a really large number. Angelo Caruso, president of left-leaning media watchdog Media Matters for America, told the BBC. However, it is less than half of the $1.6 billion initially sought by Dominion. To put the payout into context, parent company Fox Corporation reported net income of $1.23 billion for the last financial year. It is also sitting on large reserves of cash, around $4 billion, according to recent company filings. Rupert Murdoch and his family, who control the News Corp media empire, which includes Fox News, the Times of London and the Wall Street Journal, are estimated to have a fortune of $17.6 billion, according to Forbes magazine. The deal also spares Fox executives, including Mr. Murdoch and some of the network's anchors, from having to testify in one of the most high-profile defamation trials in history. Fox was going to have to deal with another round of embarrassing revelations, Professor Logan said. The company's legal team may have also been weighing the potential financial cost if the case had gone ahead and Dominion had won. Fox issued a written statement acknowledging the court's findings that Fox made false claims about Dominion, but it did not include an apology. We are hopeful that our decision to resolve this dispute with Dominion amicably instead of the acrimony of a divisive trial allows the country to move forward from these issues, the statement said. However, Fox will not be able to put the issues of its reporting on the 2020 presidential election behind it quite yet. It still faces a second similar defamation lawsuit from another election technology firm, Smartmatic, which is seeking $2.7 billion. For Dominion, the $787.5 million Fox payout may just be the start. It still has outstanding cases against Fox's smaller rivals Newsmax and OAN, plus several of former President Trump's associates.